Well, hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Jeffrey Smith, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer here at Forever Faith Mindset of Champions. And my role is I primarily oversee our operations and our business development process. And as we get started, I really want to take a minute to thank Paul and Jillian and the entire ODP National Organization, for this opportunity to share some of the story and this incredible journey with you guys. And this is really our mission. Like, this is our heartbeat. This is game time for us. This is what we love to do. It's our deep resolve and our why for why we do this. And the custom uniforms, sports uniforms that we do, and the apparel, the supplements, the music, all of these things are really just the canvas for this incredible mission that Abe's had for some time now. And I think it's going to be an incredible story for you guys to hear his testimony and just an incredible story of redemption and perseverance. So I think it's gonna penetrate your hearts deeply. And I've known Abe for a while now. I met him several years ago, and after getting to know him over the course of a couple of years, we just kind of came to realize, with my background and experience, that I could help us get to this next phase of the journey and this vision. And it's been incredibly challenging, but it's also been an amazing blessing that I could have never dreamed of. So, all of those things at the same time is pretty incredible. So, um, I'm gonna start with showing you guys our 5-minute video trailer that kind of gives you the high level of Abe's story and what he's going to dive into and talk about when that's finished. But Abe's he's been in a lot of different things. He's an incredible athlete. He's played college sports, and along that journey, he got connected with some of the wrong people and went down a road that he ended up getting into, some real trouble, and he ended up in prison. And before I introduce him, I want to play this video trailer so you guys can get a feel for, that journey and what happened, and just this incredible story of what happened after that in his life and where we're at today. So without further ado, I'm gonna play this video for you guys.
Everybody has a past. Everybody has a story to tell. And this is mine. There's no way I would have ever thought that my life would be headed down this road. It's LA. My father left when I was 4 years old. It was my mom that was left single, raising two boys and a girl. Growing up as a child, my dreams ultimately were to make it out of the hood. I thought becoming a professional basketball player or a professional football player would be my reality. What ended up happening was I ended up making my first $30,000, and ultimately that led me to a lot more major success, and I dropped out of college. It was a very devastating time, but I made the decision to pack up my bags and just move back to LA. Someone approached me one day, all this hard work that you're doing, I can show you how to make way more money, in a weekend's time than what you're doing in 3, 4, 5 months. Drive here, drop this off, that's it. And I got pulled over right there on the turnpike, and Abraham Cruz, 10 years in and 25 out. So I go in and, I'm kind of sad, I'm crying, I'm depressed. Hey, I was shattered. So I cried for a few days, and then finally I called my mom. My mom said, don't lose faith. She tells me, son, you have to pray to him and you have to ask him for a second chance. But more importantly, you have to sacrifice. So, how do you sacrifice in prison? She tells me, you need to fast for God. That night, I got on my hands and knees. I prayed. I started to dream and have visions every single night. I would wake up every morning and I would write out whatever vision I saw. Forever Faith is simply a message. That's it. It's a message that he gave me to deliver to the rest of the world. I get out of prison. I couldn't get a job. A year later,
Abe Cruz.
formula, there's an equation. It's very simple. God first, yourself second. Can't lose. Following God. That's the mindset of champions. Forever Faith, Mindset of Champions, the Abe Cruz story, now available in English and Spanish at foreverfaith.com.
Yeah, guys. So just an awesome story, and you guys are welcome to go onto our website if you'd like. And we'd love to have you come visit us. Abe's book is available there. Other items are available there. We've got music on there. We've now got sports supplements. So we've got a hydration formula coming out that we're excited about in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. Stay connected with us. Follow us on social media. Reach out to us via email. You can contact us through our website. Send us an email. These are some of our social media links for Facebook and Instagram. And we can put these back up in the chat and make sure that it gets shared with you guys as well. So follow us, connect with us, reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. And without further ado, I'd love to go ahead and turn this over to my friend, my partner, an inspiration in all of our lives. So everybody, welcome Abe Cruz.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jeff, so much. Greatly appreciate it. Can you hear me, Jeff?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff, for that introduction. Thank you for playing the video. Coach Adam, Coach Paul, all of the staff at ODP, all of the event. This is such an incredible event, and I'm just very grateful to have this opportunity to be here, have the opportunity to speak with everybody. I think the first thing that we should probably do right now is recognize all the parents. So if you're there with your mother or your father or a sibling who drove you out here, let's acknowledge all of the parents. Let's acknowledge the mothers, fathers, aunties, grandmas, because that's the most important thing. The sports wouldn't happen without of that, guys. And I'm gonna get into my story, but make sure that you do that. Give them a hug, give them a kiss. It's super important. So let them know that they're special and that you're grateful for all of that, guys. So just by a show of hands, I want to just go in the chat, type in where you're from. Type in the chat where you're from, what state you're from. I just want to see some interaction. I can't see myself here, so I'm speaking to a screen, but I want to make sure that everybody's on and we're engaged for a few minutes because my job today is to share a little bit about my story and my journey. I was fortunate enough to play college football, college basketball, but I'm going to get into that story and share a little bit about my journey and some of the horrible mistakes that I made along the way. And the whole purpose of tonight is to make sure that I can share some of these mistakes with you guys so you don't go ahead and commit the same mistakes and errors. I saw a lot of talented individuals today out on the field. It was truly an incredible day. So I was just so happy to be out there. Um, yeah, there you go. Jumping on their chat with that, Jeff, that helps me out because I just want to see where everybody's at. Type in the chat where you're from, guys, what state you're from, what club you're from, and I'm gonna get into a little bit about my story. Let me see. All right, there we go. So, guys, again, my name is Abraham Joshua Cruz. I was born and raised in East LA, that's Southern California. My father left when I was 4 years old. So, when I was four, my mom raised me, my brother, my sister in a one-bedroom apartment. And the truth is, I lived in a one-bedroom apartment all the way till I left to college. My mom knew that being without a father was a difficult challenge. I'm sure there's a lot of single mothers on here or even single fathers on here. So that's exactly why I bring it up that we have to give so much love and respect to all the parents because the parents sacrifice so much to put these weekends together to drive out for a weekend. They got to spend money on gas and food and hotels and flights and clothes and shoes, and it really adds up, guys. So I want all of the athletes to take a second and truly understand and acknowledge your parents on that, guys, because this is not easy. And it doesn't make a difference whether the parents have money or not. It's always a sacrifice. And I want our youth to be grateful for every single thing that comes in front of them. All right, guys. So as I stated, I'm from Southern California. I was born and raised in a one-bedroom apartment. My mother knew that I needed a father figure. I needed a male role model in my life. So my first sports opportunity came from the Boys and Girls Club. I attended the Boys and Girls Club when I was 9 years old. And the truth is, I wasn't into sports. I like playing pool. I like playing checkers. I like all those type of games. But as I later found out, I had a little bit of athleticism. I was able to run. I was able to jump. I was able to do a lot of these athletic things. So one of the first sports that I got involved with was basketball. Did anybody else play basketball here? Do we have any basketball players? Please let me know in the chat. Let me know that you can you guys, did I lose you? Are we all good? Jeff? Yeah. Okay. So please
Yes,
let
you're
me know in
good.
the chat. Go ahead.
I said, sorry. Yes, you're good.
Okay. So basketball was one of my first sports. So I was asking, did anybody here play basketball? Do we have any other athletes that play different sports? Basketball was my first sport in Southern California, in Los Angeles, where I grew up, kind of in the hood, East LA. The truth is, we didn't even have much soccer. It was predominantly a football and basketball town where I was at. So I didn't have the opportunity to play soccer. And now that I'm older, It's so important, and that's why I'm so grateful that my son Joshua's here from Oklahoma ODP, Coach Ben, and the entire staff over at Broken Arrow Express that have done an incredible job with my son. Basketball for me was one of those sports that gave me the ability to learn a lot of athleticism. So I was able to take basketball and continue to grow from it because I didn't know soccer. I later ended up getting into football, American football. Football showed me how to be aggressive. It showed me teamwork. It showed me how to become a leader. Fortunately, at a young age, I didn't have a lot of discipline. And I'm sure there's a lot of kids here that probably are in the same boat, that you're growing up, you're learning how to play the game. Some of you, it's hard to listen to your coaches. It's challenging to listen to all of the different directions. There's so many different things to learn on a daily basis. But what you're going to end up realizing later down the line is what you're learning today is only setting you up for a successful tomorrow and a successful future. All of the things that I've been able to utilize in my life, even today, after big mistakes, I learned while I was playing sports. I learned it on the team with basketball. I learned it on the team. Sorry. I learned it on the team with football. I was able to gather a lot of my skill sets and my abilities based on the trainings and the practices that the coaches gave us every single day, guys. So the sports is really building you guys up for an incredible future, an incredible tomorrow. I know many of you guys want to go off and to play college. I know many of you want to go and play pros. Raise your hand if you want to go play in college. I want to see a raise of hands right now, guys. Who wants to go to college? Put it in the chat. I want to see everybody, all those athletes that want to go to college and play. Please go ahead, put it in the chat. Joshua, where are you at? I know you want to do it, Joshua. So please fill it in the chat. We got Nathan. Absolutely. Nathan, where school do you want to go to, Nathan? I'm asking Nathan a question because he jumped in and he was brave. What college do you want to go to, Nathan? Not sure? Okay. Well, the first step, I want to go D1, Mickey. D1, D1, D1. Well, I'm going to continue this and ask you guys a quick question. Do you know how many athletes in the United States of America actually make it to D1, D2, D3, or even NAIA, guys? Do you know how many athletes? What's the percentage of athletes that end up going? I see KU, I say OU, I see Ohio, 2%, 3%. I see Georgia State. Actually, guys, the statistic is 7%. 7% of the athletes in America will make it to either Division One, Division Two, Division Three, or NAIA, guys. So that's a very small percentage, right? So what I'm recapping is all of the skill sets that I learned from sports. I've been able to utilize now in life, in business, in entrepreneurship, getting a job and working and doing these things as you get older. I guarantee that many of you, Nathan, you'll be part of the 7%. I love it. Nathan has the mindset of champions. Nathan has the mindset of champions because that's what it takes, guys. As we get into this course or into tonight, I want to get into these things because it's super important that what you truly believe in your mind is what happens in your future. So don't wait for tomorrow to get better. Don't wait for next week to start training. I heard a lot of kids that said they're training for Tennessee, they're training for Memphis, they're training, and they started a week before camp. They should have been training 6 months to a year before camp. So these are new things that we're all learning, right? We're all learning our different skill sets. We're all learning discipline. We're learning dedication. We're learning work ethic. We're learning habits. We got to develop great habits in order to become great athletes. A great athlete always has great habits when it comes to the athletes on the field. So that's super, super important. I see a lot of athletes, West Virginia, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Good job, guys. Good job. I'm excited and I'm happy to hear that you guys want to do these things. I didn't see my son on there, Joshua. I didn't see. What was that? Did I hear something? Nope. So as I was getting onto this, guys, I ended up going to high school. I played at St. Paul High School in Santa Fe Springs, Southern California. I won a CIF championship my freshman year in high school. Ninth grade year, I was playing with juniors and seniors. And long story short is I ended up taking the position of the starting point guard who was a senior, and I was a true freshman coming into the school, cold turkey, rock young kid, skinny. I'm still the same height as I was in high school. I didn't grow too much more. So I ended up winning the CIF championship in basketball. I ended up also making the varsity football team as a sophomore. As a high school athlete, I lettered. I was varsity basketball, varsity volleyball, varsity track and field, and then they pulled me up for the playoffs to be on the varsity football team. So I technically was a four-sport varsity letterman my freshman year in high school. All right. My freshman year, I was on the honor roll. I ended up on the honor roll. I had a 3.6 GPA and I was focused. I had goals to go to college. I was taking phone calls at lunchtime from Notre Dame, from Tennessee, from Kentucky, Florida State. So I was on that path. What I'm talking to you guys about is exactly where I was headed from youth to high school to college. Preparing myself to get to college was super important. But I want to share this with you. I told you my freshman year, I won a CIF championship, starting point guard. I had to guard Baron Davis, who was in the NBA for many years, an all-star player, all everything. My junior year in football, we went to the CIF championship. We went 14-1. We lost in the championship. I had 13 interceptions as a junior. 13 interceptions as a junior in 10 games. As I said, Florida State. Tennessee was one of the places where I ended up calling. Tennessee, Notre Dame, Florida State, all of the different schools I was talking to every day at lunchtime. But I want to share this with you. That same junior year, I was all state in basketball, all state in football, all state in track and field. And I ended up, my GPA, listen to this, guys. Do I have everyone's attention? Do I have everyone's attention? My junior year, my GPA dropped to a 1.7 GPA. 1.7 GPA. That means I was technically ineligible to play in the playoffs, and I was forced to sit on the sideline watching my team play. Why did that happen? Does anyone know why that happened? Does anyone know why my GPA dropped to a 1.7 GPA? I'm gonna ask some questions. Too many things at a time. Well, that's one good reason. Too many things at a time. We got practice, we have class. I didn't have video games. I was really poor growing up, so I didn't have any of those things. But the reality of it, and there's no excuses. Too focused, no time to study for tests. Hudson, that's a good response. No time to study for tests. Focused on what was important. Nathan, good response. So, guys, the true reality is I was so focused on sports. I was so focused on sports that I neglected my education. That's just the truth. That's 100% the truth. I was so focused on sports, I did not take care of business in my classroom. I failed all my classes. I was asleep in half of them because I was tired, and my GPA dropped to a 1.7 GPA. I was forced to sit on the sideline. One simple time for me to lose focus took me off track. And what ended up happening when I got a 1.7 GPA, my life started to go into a wrong direction. The same coaches from Tennessee, from Kentucky, from Florida State, from Notre Dame, very disappointed in me. Stopped making phone calls, stopped sending me letters. I was losing my opportunities daily when my GPA dropped to a 1.7. Horrible situation. What ended up happening was I was sidelined for the playoffs. My team went all the way to the CIF semifinals without me, and we lost in the CIF semifinals. And the team we lost to ended up going and winning the CIF championship and the state championship, which means we would have most likely won CIF and state in Southern California. I let my team down. So I want you guys to listen to my story. If you're in class, if you're struggling in class, you're having a hard time focusing, you're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're not getting help, you need to speak up. You need to ask a coach for help. You need to ask your teacher for help. You need to talk to your mom or dad and ask for help, guys. It's really that important. You guys got to focus and lock in as an athlete. As a student athlete, there's a lot of huge benefits, right? There's a lot of incredible things that can happen to you in your life. But you got to focus on where you're at right now, guys. You guys at 11, 12, 13, and 14, you're gearing up for that next level to head to high school, and then you're going to go to college, and time flies. Well, because all this happened, my GPA dropped. The coaches lost a lot of faith in me. I move into my senior year football season, and what happens to me as a senior? I start off as a preseason All-American. I had an incredible junior season, and I ended up getting hurt in my first game my senior year. My lateral meniscus disc. They keep calling me. These people. I had my phone off. Can you guys hear me? Am I good still? Are we good, Joshua? Okay, sorry guys. So what ended up happening was I ended up having a great junior year football. I went into my senior year. On a punt return, I ended up tearing my meniscus disc, my medial collateral ligaments in my knee. My knee was hanging. It was hanging. I had a 300-pound lineman land on my knee, stretched it out, and pretty much I was out on the sideline, crying, sad, depressed, because I thought my entire career was over. The doctor told me there's no way that you're returning for the season. There's no way that you're going to basketball. We're not sure what's going to happen to you, Mr. Cruz. And that's what they told me. The newspaper that came out the following week or the following day said Cruz sideline potentially for career. That news reporter shattered my heart, shattered my mind. But I knew deep down in my heart that I had the mindset of champions. I knew that I was not going to give up. So I had to bounce back. I had to bounce back from grades, right? From failing, going to a 1.7 GPA. Then I had to bounce back from an injury that was almost career ending, because that's the truth. I was in so much pain. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But I knew that in my heart and in my mind, I was going to battle back and do everything that I possibly could to recover, heal my knee, and get back out onto the field. I give God the glory. I was back out on the field 4 weeks later with a huge brace. But to get to the story, I want to get straight to it, guys. My GPA dropped from 1.7 my junior year. My senior year, my knee tore meniscus disc. By the time the season ended, all of the college recruiters called me kindly to tell me, Abe, sorry, about your knee. We feel really bad. We have no more spots on scholarship for you. I lost all my scholarship opportunities, for one, for my grades, two, because I injured myself. Right, guys? So I want you guys to hear what I'm telling you. 7% of the athletes in America make it to the next level. I saw incredible athletes here, but it's super important for you guys to focus on your grades, to make sure you're taking care of your education, keep training hard, keep becoming a better athlete, because I don't believe in limits. I believe that we learn from our mistakes and we're able to bounce back. I bounced back. The problem is that I lost my college scholarship and I was injured. I ended up going to a Division III program where I ended up playing two sports. I played basketball and football at the University of Wisconsin Stout. I had an incredible freshman year. I ended up, we went 14-1. I started as a true freshman. We won a conference championship. I was a big part of that championship, scoring touchdowns and defending on defense. So I had a great year. However, I started to hang around the wrong people, guys. You hear my story. You guys saw my trailer. the decisions and the choices that we make on a daily basis are impacting our future. So it's super important that we're hanging around the right people. It's super important that the people that's our inner circle are here to lift us up. They're not here to tear us down. If you're hanging around somebody that wants you to do drugs, if you're hanging around somebody that wants to smoke, wants to ditch school, wants to do all these different things that have nothing to do with improving your future, you need new friends. That's just the truth. You guys need new friends. Talk to your parents, talk to your teachers. You got to stay focused and disciplined because only one choice, one decision will throw you off track. Okay, guys? So it's super, super important. As I ended up getting to college, winning my first conference championship in college, we were celebrating, going to parties, doing the wrong things, hanging around the wrong people. College is an incredible experience. You're going to meet a lot of different people from all over the world are going to be coming to different universities. You're going to be meeting people and cultures and all those kinds of things. But the one thing that's so important is for you to stay true to you and stay focused on why you're in school. You're focused to there to get an education, to get ready for your future. Are you there on a scholarship to play sports? You need to be able to focus, lock in, and become that dedicated, focused athlete, giving 110% of you to that university, to that high school, or wherever you're at. As you guys saw, I ended up making a horrible decision. I dropped out of college, chasing money, and where did it lead me to? It led me straight to prison. 2 years out of college, I dropped out, wrong people. That led me straight to prison. I was hanging around the wrong people. One choice in the wrong path gave me a 35-year prison sentence. Yes, 35-year prison sentence. While I was in, I ended up doing 4 years and 6 months, and the rest of it was put on probation. Now, even currently as I talk, God has given me a second chance. God has given me an opportunity to be an instrument and to be a voice for athletes, for parents, for youth in the detention centers or in the prisons. Because while I was in prison, although it was the worst experience of my life, it ended up becoming the best miracle and blessing for me because I was able to focus, lock in, and dedicate my life to a better future. While I was incarcerated, my mom told me that I needed to make a sacrifice for God and change my life. While I was in prison, I got on my hands and knees. I asked God for a second chance. I prayed. And when I did that, my entire life changed for the better. I was injected with visions. I started to dream and have visions about the future. And that's where this message of forever faith, mindset of champions started. I started to draw, I started to design clothing. I started to write out stick figures with papers and pen while I was incarcerated. My entire vision of what I've done, as you guys saw in the video over the last 6, 7, 8 years, was all written out while I was in prison, but I was focused and locked in on becoming the best version of myself so I can only help people in this world. I'll tell you guys this. It's a quote that I learned from someone real famous. His name is Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, "The greatest service to mankind is finding a way to serve many people." What we're doing here now with you, what the coaches and your parents are doing with each and every one of you athletes, we're here serving you guys. We love you. We care for you. We're focused on doing incredible things for you guys and your future. I want to know if that makes sense, guys. Give me a high five, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. I want to make sure you guys are hearing me. You guys see what's going on. Jeff, do you think we should open up a little bit to a couple of questions maybe? Good. Alex Hayes, Nathan Hudson, Russ, Elijah. Good. You guys, I want to be able to open this up because I could talk for hours. Coach Adam knows that. Coach Paul too. Ashter, Everett. I want to open this up. Do we have any questions that we can bring in? Sports, it could be life, it could be business, it could be college, it could be challenges. You guys, there's my social media as well. If you don't feel comfortable asking a question here, we can ask it off camera at another time. Does anyone have any questions? I know you guys have questions. How did you start the brand? Let's see the question. I didn't see the question. What's the question, guys? Where's the question? How did you start the brand? Okay, here we go. How did you start the brand when you got out of prison? Great question. When I ended up getting out of prison with all of these papers, I had 300 pieces of paper of notes, ideas, stick figures, and drawings. Was your mom supportive when? Yeah. So who asked that question? Who asked the? I'm gonna answer that question first about my mom. Who asked the question about mom? Jeff, can you help me line up the questions first for each person, and then we can go from there? Okay, Araya did. Araya asked a question. If my mom was supportive, I'm assuming after prison. Is that what you're asking, or while I was in prison? You guys, my mom was the only one that was there for me my entire life, this entire journey. As I stated, my father left when I was 4 years old. So I don't know my father. I'm not upset with my father. I don't know my father, but I know that life is challenging. So he probably had his own obstacles that he had to deal with. But my mother was the only person that was there for me my entire journey of life, even till to this day. When I was in prison, she would send me $10. She would send me $20 to buy soup, to buy noodles, to buy deodorant or toothpaste. My mom was that person who was always there for me. And let me share something with you guys. Please hear me. Your parents, your mother will always be there for you. Your father will always be there for you. Your mom and your dad love you guys so much. You guys got to understand that. You got to acknowledge it. I know that life is so fast. So we're always moving. We got practice. We're going out on the weekends. We got games. We got dinner. We got church. We got prayers. Everything is difficult, but we got to slow down and acknowledge our parents and love them. I saw another question that said, was prison harsh? Was prison harsh? Yes. Prison was very harsh. It was very scary. I saw a lot of war. People were fighting every day. They were fighting over race. They were fighting over religion. They were fighting over soup. Alex Hayes asked, what did you do to go to prison? How old's everybody in this? No, I'm just playing. You guys, I made a mistake and I got involved in drugs. So I'm not here to hide anything. That's why I'm speaking so openly, because I want you guys to learn. I got involved with drugs in transportation. So learn from my mistake. Don't allow anyone to come around you if they're talking about drugs. Don't allow anyone around you if they're smoking, they're talking about weed, they're talking about alcohol. You need to stay away from all of that. None of that is worth anything of your life. Stay away from all of it. I've seen a lot of questions. Russ asked, when the colleges started, let's see. Let me get this. I'm gonna move it around, guys. Russ asked, when Jeff, am I okay? Can you guys still see me like this? So
Yeah,
I can read all the.
we
Can
can
you
see
talk?
you. Yeah, we can see you. And Russ was asking about when the colleges started recruiting you, did you reach out to them first?
Good question. That's a great question as an athlete in school. Russ, no, I did not reach out to them. Russ, back in my days, I'm 43 now. So when I was in high school was 98, 99, 2000. There was no social media, there was no YouTube, we didn't have telephones, we didn't have any of these things. You played your game, you performed correctly, and what ended up happening was coaches used to fly around, or the recruits would fly around to schools. They would fly around and call the schools and ask for tape. We had VHS tapes that we were having to mail out to the different universities. So no, I did not reach out to them. They reached out to our coaching staff. Our coaches put me on the phone with them, and that's how we started our relationship, Russ. I know now you're allowed to do that, so I would encourage you, make a highlight tape. You guys got social media. I'm gonna hit one other point since we're talking about this. You guys on your social media, it is very, very important that you guys are not on your social media misbehaving. Don't go on your social media cursing, talking about disrespecting people, smoking, drinking, hanging out at parties, being disrespectful to women. It's very important because your college recruiters are looking at all of your social media. And if they see that you're a problem on your social media, please believe that they will X you out and they will skip you and look for somebody else that's not that is not doing the same thing on social media. So please be aware of that, guys. Devin asked, what would you have changed in your schedule back when you were in high school? That's a great question, Devin. What would I have changed in my schedule? Devin, I don't think I would have changed my schedule. I think what I've done is I would have asked for more help. I would have asked for my coaches to help me find a tutor. I would have asked the teachers to stay with me after school. I would have asked for more help. It's not that I would have just changed my schedule. You know that we're all busy, everybody's working, but really what it comes down to is priorities and time management. As I talk about business with my team and our staff and employees, everything is time management. We wake up at a certain time, we make phone calls at a certain time, we emails at a certain time, we eat at a certain time, I work out at a certain time. Everything is blocked off so you know exactly what you're doing. If you get up and you're lost, you're not taking care of your time management, which is going to affect you in the long run, guys. So time management is super important. Um how did you get, let me see. Paula, how did you get the dollars to start the business? That's a very great question, Paula. Um, so when I got out of prison, I had the vision of Forever Faith Mindset of Champions, right? I had paperwork. I call it a business plan from prison. And when I ended up having that, literally every single person, well, here, let me go back. When I got out of prison, I was forced to get a real job because I was a convicted felon on probation and I had to get a job to pay for the ankle monitor. And it's a requirement once you get out of prison. So I had to get a real job. I went to 16 different job interviews. Everyone said no. No one wanted to hire me. No one wanted to give me an opportunity to work. I cried about it, but what did I do? I called my mom crying. My mom said, don't lose faith. Get up every day, go work hard, go look for a job, keep working. So I never stopped working and I found a job after 16 job interviews. And when I finally got the job at the gym, I took the pieces of paper to the job every single day. And every time I would see somebody, I would tell them, I'm just here working at the gym right now, part time. My focus and my mission is for the future. I'm going to start a clothing line to motivate and inspire the world. It's called Forever Faith Mindset of Champions. And the reality is, I had nothing except some paper with crayons and napkins. I ended up going to the dollar store, bought a t shirt for $1, drew my logo on the shirt at the beginning, showed that to somebody, and kept telling the same story. I'm gonna create a business to motivate and inspire the world. Well, I'll tell you this part. Somebody at the gym said, someone at the gym that was a complete stranger, they came to me and said, what is Forever Faith Mindset of Champions? I said, Forever Faith Mindset of Champions was a mission and a message that God gave me to give me to the rest of the world. And he said, really, that's an incredible name. I love Forever Faith Mindset of Champions. He said, well, do you need any photography? He offered photography services. And I said, well, I don't have any clothing yet, so there's nothing to take photos of. Well, he said, oh, well, that's fine. We can talk about it another time. That same gentleman came to the gym 2 weeks later. He told me, I went home and I prayed about it, and God sent me to help you. Listen to this, guys. When we talk about faith, we talk about favor, we talk about work ethic. What is luck? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Preparation meets opportunity. You guys write that in the chat right now. Luck is preparation meeting opportunity. Write that down, guys. Please write it down right now. I want everyone to write it out. I was prepared for my opportunity while I was working at the gym, and I showed this gentleman all of my plans and everything that I was going to do in the future. And what he ended up doing, he gave me $80,000. This is a true story, everyone. So if there's anyone that is sad, that doesn't believe in luck or faith or belief, I'm telling you guys, when you stay focused and you're ready for that opportunity, the blessings do come. That is 100% sure. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. It's also called a blessing. But see, I was prepared to show this gentleman the vision. I was prepared to show him my skill set. Many of you young athletes, male and female, have come to Memphis, Tennessee. You guys are here for what? What are you guys here for? An opportunity. If you are prepared for this opportunity, what's going to happen? Success. Guaranteed success. So when you have your preparation meeting this weekend's opportunity, many of you will be playing at the next level. Many of you, I guarantee you, will be playing at the next level because you are prepared when the opportunity came. That's it, guys. That's a strong one. I see everybody writing it. Who's next? Elijah, were you playing multiple sports in college? Also, what did you do to get your scholarship? Elijah, great question. Yes, I played multiple sports. I played football and I played basketball. And remember, I because of my grades my junior year, I was injured my senior year. I remember Nebraska, it was Coach Osborne. I remember coming home from practice one day. He left me a voice message on my answering machine and said, Abe, you're an incredible athlete. Sorry about your injury. We just can't take a chance on you. Sorry, we have no more spots. I lost all of my scholarships. So what ended up happening? I was fortunate enough to have other schools calling me, and I ended up going to the University of Wisconsin Stout on full financial aid and partial scholarship. So it wasn't a full scholarship, but I got financial aid and partial, and that took care of everything. So I was able to go out there and play. So I hope that answers the question, Elijah. Andrew, what are your plans for the future? That's a great question, Andrew. Well, as a business and as an entrepreneur and as somebody who made a huge mistake in my life, Andrew, the mission is to take Forever Faith Mindset of Champions global. Here it is. This is it. You guys look it up. You guys can follow us on social media. Forever Faith Mindset of Champions. It's the mission to take this global. So, it's a message, but we're also an apparel company. We make all of the apparel, uniforms, with style. We make everything custom, but our message is really the focus. Forever Faith Mindset of Champions. I want everyone to write Mindset of Champions in the chat. Mindset of Champions, guys, because if there's anything that you're going to if you forget everything that I said, if you take with you Mindset of Champions, you're going to remember this conversation. You're going to remember that when you come up with obstacles in your life, when you're in the middle, you get injured. When you got a battle for a position, you get low grades. You disappoint someone somehow. It doesn't matter what happens. What matters is how you handle that situation. You can bounce back. You can come back from the problem. So don't be discouraged. Guys, there's many of you here this weekend that might not make it, but do not get discouraged. Do not get discouraged with any of that. Can you guys see me or did I lose you? Huh?
No, we can see you.
Okay, the calls keep coming in. We had a professional boxer fighting tonight in California underneath the Forever Faith Mindset of Champions tagline. So they don't stop. So so guys, write that in the chat, Mindset of Champions, because that is the phrase that we want the world to adopt. We want the world to represent, because I truly believe that that's the strongest tagline in the world right now, especially on any apparel brand. Mindset of Champions. What else do we? How are we doing, Coach Adam? Are we okay on these things? Jeff, are we okay on time with everyone?
Well, we're kind of at that point. I think that Brad and Jillian were talking about as far as the duration of the meeting, but as long as everybody is still, wanting to hear more things, we're certainly here and available to answer as many questions as we can. So, Jillian, you tell us where we're at on time, if we're good, or what we need to do.
Yeah, did I get everyone's questions? I know there was a lot of questions, but I love seeing the MOC Mindset of Champ is on here, because guys, that's the message, that's the mission. This is a mindset that you will take for the rest of your life, because we're all going to go through obstacles in our life. We're all going to go through challenges. We're in championship games. We're down 3-0. It's halftime. We got to pull together as a team. And get things as a set. One team, one sound is super important. So you guys will need that. Who's this? Fields, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Said the uniforms look really cool. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it, guys. What other questions do we have, guys? What other questions? Make sure you are following us. Jeff, please put in our social media. Put in mine is at the real Abe Cruz and Forever Faith. Taylor asked, how did you change your mindset after your injury? Taylor, that's a very good question. Taylor, that's a really good question. After my injury, Taylor, I cried for a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I cried for a little bit, but I ended up realizing that my life was not over. We all have to understand, and I want all you guys to understand that each and every one of you is special. You guys are unique. There's something different and incredible about each and every single one of you guys. Do you guys understand me? Please let me know. I understand. Give me I understand. I want you guys I want that to be heard. You guys are incredible. Every one of you guys has a special talent, a skill set, and ability different than every single one of the people here at this tournament, at this camp, at this showcase. So it's super, super important, guys. Jeff, am I missing another question?
I'm kind of going back in time here, scrolling backwards. We've got great participation.
Yes.
All of that from all of you guys.
Here, Devin has a good question. Devin Flanagan, do college scouts look at smaller states or clubs, or just the big name teams? Devin, that's a great question. So Devin, there's no secret, there's no one formula. There's athletes that make it out of smaller schools. There's athletes that make it not even going to school. It's a very small percentage. But the bottom line is that you get out there and you showcase yourself. If you're a standout, you will stand out at every level. So it doesn't matter even if you're at a small school or you're at a big school. If you have the opportunity, you're fortunate enough to get to a school that has more visibility, more eyeballs, more scouts, then yes, obviously, then that's going to increase your chances. However, someone being at a small school does not state that they don't have a chance. They absolutely have a chance to make it. Okay, guys? So please understand that. Again, opportunity comes when you're prepared. So you be prepared. Look where everyone's at now. We're at a camp, we're at a showcase, and there's people showcasing. You got to be prepared to showcase yourself when the opportunity arises. This weekend is an opportunity for each and every single one of you guys to showcase who you are, the talents that you have, and what you're made of. It's wet, It's a challenging weekend, but that's how it is. That's the game of sports. There's no perfect condition all the time. So we got to get out here and showcase what we have when we have the opportunity to do it, guys. Does that make sense? I have a battle running a business. I'm here to run a business, and it's a global business, guys. I'm up battling some of the biggest people in the world, but I'm focused on what I have to do each and every single day. Andrew asks, Jeff, am I okay on my phone or is it falling?
No, you're good. I can see you adjusting it, but we can
Okay.
see you clearly and we can hear you clearly.
Then I'll just hold it like this. Um, let's see. Okay, we'll ask mindset after injury. Andrew asks, what are your future plans? I answered that one. Nathan, how does a good, quiet, non-showboat player grab a coach's attention? Well, Nathan, it's a good question. Playing, just being yourself and playing is what gets the job done. You guys, a showboat player, a loud player, a flashy player, that doesn't always translate to success, guys. There's a lot of times that scouts and coaches and programs don't want that. There's a lot of times that coaches and programs want sound, fundamental players to go out and get the job done. It just depends on what system you're at. The truth is, you're going to have different players going to different schools because the style of the school. Every school has a different style of coaching. They have a different way they run their program. So you just stay focused. Don't, this is what I'm going to say, mindset of champions. Don't allow other people to throw you off of your game. A showboat player, a loud player, a player who talks a lot of trash. Don't allow that player to take you and lose your focus and throw you off. Does that make sense, Nathan? Don't allow that. Let's not even give them an opportunity to think about those things. We can't do that. We can't give them the luxury of creating those problems for us. Who's in control of our mind? I'm asking a question to you guys. Who's in control of your mind? Who's in control of your mind? Who's in control of your mind? We are. So if we're in control of our mind, we cannot allow other people's behaviors, other people's opinions, and other people's actions affect who we are and how we present ourselves and what our mission and our task is when we're on the field. We can't allow other people to throw us off of our game, right? If we're stout, if we're strong, if we're focused on what we need to do, we're not allowing other people to distract us. We came to take care of business and we're going to get the job done. Does that make sense? Yes, Nathan. That's it. You stay focused. um, Bailey, what is your biggest challenge at work? Bailey, what is your biggest challenge at work? That's a good question. My biggest challenge at work. Well, man, how do I even answer that? The truth is, and Jeff will tell you, I mean, I look at every situation the same. I'm focused, I'm locked in, and I do whatever I have to do, whatever the task is in front of me. I don't even acknowledge the word problems. I don't spend time if there's really that word of a problem in front of me, I see it, it's acknowledged, and I'm focused on a solution now. I'm working on what is overcoming it, what's the solution, how do I get better, how does my business improve, how do I overcome it, right? So I don't spend too much time thinking about those challenges. I spend most of my time making sure that I'm growing and becoming better and focus on becoming a better person, becoming a better leader, becoming a better speaker, becoming a better entrepreneur, right? If I'm focused on all of the challenges, then how do I get better? It's the same thing you as an athlete. You have to study your opponent, you have to see what they're doing. But if you're working on your best you, if you're running fast, if you're passing the ball, if you're able to defend, if you're able to do everything you need to do on the field, your work ethic, your talents are going to take care of itself. Make sense? Yes. Nathan said I sound like my mom and dad. Well, go give your mom and dad a hug. because it's our job to love you guys, to help you guys, to encourage you guys, and to send you in the right direction. What did you do to recover from injury? Who was that? Zait. Yes, that actually was a long journey. I had to go see a doctor, a sports doctor, who helped when my MCL, my meniscus disc, my medial lateral ligaments, my medial collateral ligaments, when they had snapped, I had to strengthen all the muscles around them to compensate for that injury, right? And as we get older, this is something I tell my son, and I'm gonna tell all you guys. I don't see you guys stretching enough. Stretch your hamstrings, stretch your quadriceps, stretch your hip flexors. Before I got hurt in football, I was running about a 4.5 40. After I got hurt and I came back, I was stretching every day to make sure that my muscles didn't injure themselves. And I was running a very low 4.4, almost to 4.3, 40. I was very fast. But it didn't happen until I learned how to take care of my body. It didn't happen until I learned how to truly take my athleticism to a whole nother level. That's what it comes down to, guys. You have to learn your body. You have to learn your skill sets, your blessings, your talents, the gifts God has given you. Take those, learn from them, and then become better. That's what it comes down to. What's next? What's next? Asher, you, me, I am, ourselves, myself, me. The mind is the battlefield. Absolutely, Jeff. We got Devin. Would you recommend athletes to create a social media account with all of their info and highlights? Devin, yes, I do recommend that because it's happening already. We deal with a lot. I mean, I'm blessed to be here with ODP, and I've also been fortunate and invited to speak with other football organizations and basketball organizations. And all of the athletes now are doing highlight tapes. They're doing Twitters. A lot of the recruiters, I don't know for soccer, but I know for football, they're on Twitter. They're on LinkedIn. So I would say yes. You have to do everything that's going to give you an advantage. So if you have other athletes that are creating social media platforms and accounts for highlights, I'd encourage you to do the same thing. Of course, be careful with them, monitor them. Those social media, guys, is a huge blessing, but they can also be a problem. So I also understand that there's a lot of parents that might not want you to have them because they're not controlling them. If you're using them what you're supposed to truly be using them for, I encourage you. But if you're going to take advantage and then create chaos and problems, guys, no, don't get on social media then. I don't recommend it. Yael Cruz, I want to tell you that all that if you maintain your discipline, you'll meet the right people. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Yes. Do we still have everybody on the call, Jeff? How are we doing here?
Yeah, we're doing good. We've got everybody still on the call. There's another
Last question, personally. Yeah, show them some of our stuff, Jeff, while I'm talking. We got Asher. Let's see, Asher, how long were you on probation? Okay, so my sentence was 10 years in and 25 out. Probation was for 25 years, but that has all changed. And I thank God because of all of the good I have done over the last 5, 6, 7, and 10 years. I've traveled the world. I just flew in from Colombia last week. I was in Colombia for 3 months. I was in Pakistan for 3 weeks. And then I was in Mexico also. So I've been fortunate now to travel the world. That's where we have our factories. We produce clothing out in these different countries. I have factories there, so I go and I check on our products and doing all of our things. What else? Last question personally from Devin. Last question personally, but after you make a mistake, how do you just move on and not overthink it? Well, Devin, I'll use an example real quick. If you guys are in a championship game and you guys are going to have penalty shots and you're the last man up and it's up to you to shoot, win the game, be the hero, be the superstar, and you don't make it, you miss it. The reality for that moment is, sure, you might be sad, You might cry. It's okay. It's part of sports. Michael Jordan lost more games than he won. Michael Jordan had so many game-winning opportunities that he ended up missing, but he couldn't focus on that. That night, that day, he cried about it. He learned from his mistake, but Michael Jordan got right back onto the court that same night, the night that he lost. So if those things happen to you, if you make a mistake, you have to learn how to get over it quickly and move on. That separates a lot of athletes, because if you can deal with the challenges, the obstacles in front of you to overcome, learn from them, and become a better player, that's going to take you so much further. Because the further you grow in sports, high school, college, pros, you're going to see very quickly nobody plays perfect. Ronaldo has missed many game-winning shots. Messi has missed many game-winning shots. He's passed the ball to the other team. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. We're all going to continue to make mistakes. The difference between a successful player and non-successful player is who learns from their mistake faster, who's able to bounce back and move forward. So I hope that helped, Devin. How many factories do you own? Bailey, great question, Bailey. Bailey, I do not own the factories. I have partners in the factories who own the factories. So that's what allows me to go and fly to these countries and produce clothing or supplements or a drink. So I have partners. This is now we're getting into business discussion. But I have partners in these factories that produce clothing. And many of them are 20, 30, and 40 years in the business. Yeah, goldfish memory. There it is, Nathan. Yes, goldfish memory. Yes, guys, I love all the questions. A lot of great questions. What does MOC stand for? What does MOC stand for? MOC, what does it stand for? Write it out for me, please. Sorry, I have a little cough. And if you're out on the field tomorrow or Sunday, I want you guys come up, say hello to me. I'd love to take a photo with you. I love interacting. I have a son out here, Joshua Cruz, who's with Oklahoma ODP, and I love being out there with all the games with him. He's an incredible athlete himself. I think he's got a little bit of my athleticism in him. Yes, mindset of champions. Mindset of champions is what MOC stands for, guys. I'm truly grateful for this opportunity, guys. I'm truly grateful for your attention. Before we end it, any last questions? I think we're good, Jeff, Coach Paul, Coach Adam, or any of the other coaches on staff that wanted to jump in. Anything else? Jeff, make sure that you give them our social media, guys, at Forever Faith and at The Real Abe Cruz is my Instagram, my Twitter, Facebook, guys. You can also message us there. You can send, you follow me, I'll follow you back. When you follow me, send me a message and tell me that we connected at the ODP weekend in Tennessee, okay? I'll make sure that I follow you back. I want to follow your guys' journey. I want to see you guys get to high school. I want to see you get to college. I want to see you guys in the pros. I only want to see success. So make sure you guys are following me. I'll follow you back, and we will connect.
Thank you guys so much. It's been a blessing to be with you this evening.
Thank you, guys. Are we ending now?